This is what you might have missed on BCSN's Sports Nightly.
It's time for your weekly racing report brought to you by Toledo Speedway. I'm CJ Perry alongside Steve Ronkwitz, and BCSN Sunday night at the races. Boy, at Attica Raceway Park Friday night in the 410s. Dean Jacobs looking for win number 3, but a certain man named Cap Henry was standing in his way. Henry got the pole position, so led wire to wire, and this was a longer than usual 410 feature. It took its time. There was plenty of cautions in there. Lap traffic getting in the way of Dean Jacobs. Cap Henry favored that high side groove, which was dangerous all night long, but if you had the right combination, you could hit it. Dean Jacobs favored the low side groove. In the end, Henry gets the victory.
You know, that was one of those kind of nights for Cap Henry. A lot of times you'll see Cap Henry, he's kind of hanging around near the front, hasn't been able to find no victory a lot of times, but you know what? He was dialed in this night. He did run that high side, sometimes almost on the edge.
Right.
We talked about it during the broadcast that because of the way the track had to get worked in, there was no cushion at the top, and those guys rely on that cushion to keep the car on the racetrack.
Down, right.
Yep, there was no cushion there, so we saw a few cars go up over the top of what would have been the cushion. Nate Dussel ends up in 3rd spot. In
the ALMS late models, so the big boys coming to town, you got Matt Westfall, Unzinker, Rusty Schlenk, another borrowed machine. He really wouldn't be a factor in this race. Low buck racer Rocky Owens, however, was a factor. Starting in row number 2, Ryan Missler, the Missile, leading the first 16, 17 laps. Cautions once again, everything kind of just shrinking that field back together. Rocky Owens gets his shot, knocking on the door for 11 laps, finally gets the pass and gets the victory.
Rocky Owens race car, you can barely find it on the backstretch. There's no sponsor decals on it whatsoever. It's black. It's got a white number on it. You can see the number, but other than that, Rocky Owens, it's coming out of his pocket. It's coming out of the car owner's pocket. Give this guy an awful lot of credit because he was, again, on fire on that particular night.
In the 305 sprint division, Dustin Stroop, we thought this young racer was going to get his first victory. Bobby Clark said, not so fast, youngster. Bobby Clark. Boy, Bobby Clark the Fist. We know Philadelphia Flyer today, right? Okay. But no, Clark is on fire now. So now he's got a few races in a row. Now he's starting to mount his charge into the points as well. Dustin Stroop, great race. And then Paul Weaver, a factor at the end. Almost had Stroop dead in his sights. He got the slide job, and then he just kept on going.
And the slide job.
And just kept on
it was
going.
one of the biggest continuous slide jobs ever. He started in turn number 1, just kept going higher and higher and higher.
Well, he ended out on He ended out on Route 4, right?
Yeah, he was out on Route 4. I think he was in, what is it, Siam, Ohio?
Yeah.
I think so.
All right, so final race of the evening of dirt trucks. Matt Foose, what a great race that was, holding off a hard-charging Dan Repke at the end. I don't know, would you call foul on that off of turn number 4? Foose, he must have felt him breathing on his tailgate because he just squeezed up enough to get the victory.
Well, he kind of went up a little bit on the racetrack just because Dan Repke was kind of like sliding between Foose and the wall. I think it was okay.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the Racing Report. For Steve Ronkwitz, I'm CJ Perry. Back to you.
Be sure to watch Sports Nightly weeknights at 10:30 on BCSN and follow us on Twitter at sports_nightly.